I got a sign that say lames can't hang here. That's eyelashes, blank stare.
She claims to be Nigerian.
Listen, there's 6 different. I sent it to you, John.
What part of Nigeria are you from?
It says Nigeria.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'm gonna get telling me what's up, baby.
But why is it that almost everybody on the TikTok timeline is Nigerian? What's going on? Even those of you guys that never claimed to be Nigerian in the first place, those of you guys that are ashamed of being Nigerian, actually being African in general, but I see a lot of Nigerian. But why? Why is it now? Why is it this century, this millennium, that you're choosing to embrace your nationality? Didn't you go from Chukwudi to Chukwuzibagi boy? Didn't you go from what they call it, Shaliwa to Shali baby girl? So what's going on? You went from Silifa Idera to Silverdera, and now you're about to claim African. You're about to claim Nigerian. You know what?
We don't cast last us. Now everybody go to breakfast.
All right, everyone, welcome to yet another wonderful video. This is Corporate Junky, and I am your host, Corp J. And thank you all for joining me today. I do have a special video for you all, and I am so excited to do this video because it reaffirms what I've been saying in my videos. If you've been following me for a while, you've heard me say this, and you've heard me say things like the Nigerian brand is going to be synonymous with greatness, with value, with good investment, and it's all due to our music. It's all due to afrobeats, the success of afrobeats. It's all due to our film industry, Nollywood. It's also all due to what Nigerians are doing all over the world in terms of, their lifestyle, in terms of this different sectors and industries that you find Nigerians, and how Nigerians are really excelling in various aspects of different industries. And so you've often heard me say this. So now we're seeing people wanting to be us. We're seeing people wanting to claim to be Nigerians, and that is great. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see people really now aligning themselves with success, which is usually what human behaviors are. As human beings usually would align themselves with anything successful. That's usually typically what you see with human beings, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. But nonetheless, it wasn't that long ago that we've all witnessed and seen people really jump off the Nigerian train, right? People demonize Nigerians. It wasn't that long ago, and for most part, it's still going on. So we're not out of the woods yet in terms of negativity really kind of attached to Nigerians. You've even found stories of people claiming to be Nigerians when they really weren't, when they commit a lot of these crimes that we've all come to know about. As a matter of fact, one comes to mind. I don't know if you guys remember a situation that occurred in Dubai, where a bunch of guys from Africa went to Dubai and committed a crime in Dubai. This happened about a year or two ago. It wasn't that long ago. And when they were caught by the authorities in Dubai and asked where they were from, they all said Nigeria, right? And then the news and the media ran with that story that, once again, you see, Nigerians are committing crimes in Dubai and all of that. And it was later found out that those Africans were not from Nigeria. They were from Kenya and Somalia. So that's the type of thing that we're talking about. But do you think that the media went back and retracted and corrected that statement? No, they didn't. You know, it was just left out there for people to for people to perceive that Nigerians were committing these crimes in Dubai when they really weren't. And so that particular situation was an example of most of the things that we've all come to know about. I do also want you guys to take a look at this young lady's story that had a similar encounter with what I've just talked about in terms of people committing crimes and then claiming that they are Nigerians when they really weren't. So take a look at this.
I have had this experience before. For those people who have not seen the video, you could maybe go back to watch the video. Sometime around 2019, I was new in the country. The phone I came with was faulty and I needed to get a new phone. So because I was new in the country and I was told that I could get a phone in Dyer, because then I wasn't working in Naif, I was working in Sharjah. So I decided to go with one of the people I lived together with in Sharjah. So after getting the phone, it was time for us to go back home, but we missed our way. And the guy that I was living with in Sharjah is not African. So we needed to find our way back to probably the nearest metro station so we could go back to Sharjah. So literally we started rounding and all that. So we're like, okay, fine, you go this way. We're like, okay, let's divide and conquer. You go this way, ask people while I ask people over here. Few minutes go by and then the guy came to meet me at the other side and he was like, yeah, I think the road to the metro is over here. I saw some Nigerians that they said they're Nigerians, but I really didn't understand what they were saying, so maybe you come talk to them. So when I go there, I greeted them and they described the route for us. Go here and all that. But by the time they went out talking, I noticed they were not Nigerian from the accent. I'm Nigerian, so if you're Nigerian, you can catch Nigerian accents. So from the accent, I knew they were not Nigerian. So I was like, where are you from? The lady is like, Nigerian. I was like, but you're not Nigerian. So when she noticed I caught her already, she was like, oh yeah, I have Nigerian friends. So I was like, but you're not Nigerian. And you're into streets and probably other vices as well, but you're here claiming Nigerian to a non-Nigerian. So the summary of rather the reality hit me at that point that people actually do these things. Like, it's actually way more rampant than you think. People commit a sort of vices, people do a sort of shit, and then they hide under the cover of Nigeria because they already know that the name Nigeria is literally tarnished already. And as a Nigerian, it's not funny anymore. It's not fair because sometimes people pass opportunities. People literally start looking down on you because you're Nigerian. And when in reality, most people that are actually doing these things are not even Nigerians. It's not fair. It's not fair.
So that's typically what you see, right? That is typically what you find is this idea that people would do these things and then they will claim to be Nigerians. But now we're seeing the tides really change, right? We're seeing now, people wanting to align themselves to Nigerians. And when I mean people, I'm talking specifically about people from Africa. I am talking about Nigerians also, right? Who jumped off the Nigerian train. These are Nigerians who were born in Nigeria, right? Or Nigerians who were born to Nigerian parents and live in the diaspora that jumped off the Nigerian train, they didn't want to be associated with, the country or even Nigerians. They didn't want to be associated with their own lineage because of all the negativity that was tied to it. Now we're seeing these same people now claiming to be Nigerians. They are proud to be Nigerians. On top of the fact that we're also seeing people from other African countries now also claiming to be Nigerians, right? And it's a fascinating thing to see. But understand it's because of the success of our music. And it's also because of the success the Nigerians are having all over the world. Nigerians, to my recollection and to my knowledge, are the only large body of black people in the world that are trending in the way that people that are doing tremendously in the world are trending. Nigerians are the only group that I know of. If anyone knows any other black group that is literally trending upwardly in terms of greatness, in terms of, successful things, let me know, because Nigerians are the only ones that I know of in terms of group, a large body of black group or black demographic that are really trending, in music, in arts, in entertainment, in education, in science and technology. I don't know any other black group that is spoken of as highly as Nigerians are spoken of. Nigerians are the ones. And so it's always very bizarre when you then hear a lot of the negativity. But then again, it's to be expected, right? People only talk about those that are, relevant, right? And that's the logic behind success. Is you're going to always find people that will demonize something that is good because it's a competitive sport. And so when you have a clear winner in a particular field, in this case Nigerians, in terms of a lot of the aspects that I've just talked about, there's usually going to be, animosity and those that really want to pull that or strip that success from Nigerians. And so you always will have the negative aspect, but more so now we're seeing, more and more people really big up Nigerians and really praise Nigerians for their success. And Nigerians are really pulling Africa along, right? Nigerians are giving Africa such positive outlook that it's a great thing to see. That one country in West Africa, it's pulling the entire continent. People are looking into Africa more. People are planning their vacation to Africa. People are looking to do business with Africa. People are looking to connect and partner with Africa. And it's all thanks to Nigerians, right? And that is a great thing to see, because I've often said it on my channel that a win for Nigeria is a win for Africa. Nigeria is known as the giant of Africa, right? So I am glad to see that Nigerians are really stepping into their own and are beginning to really take on the mantle. And I think that every Nigerian, no matter where you are, whether you are in the diaspora, whether you are on the continent, should be truly proud to be Nigerian, right? Truly should be proud to be Nigerian. I've said it. I did a video not too long ago where I talked about how afrobeat is Nigerians' great awakening. I talked about this concept and phenomenon that happened in the United States and also in Europe and the West. Two phenomenons known as Great Awakening and also the Great Enlightenment, which were pivotal moments that shaped the ideology, the belief system, the social construct, the hard work, the confidence that we now know in a lot of the countries that many of us really admire. Countries like the United States, England, many of these Western world. And I talked about that, which was the Great Enlightenment, as well as the Great Awakening that occurred in the 17th and 18th century, when historians looked back at a moment in time that really spawned a lot of what most people know today as success of the West. They attribute that to those two events. And I did a video, go take a look at it, where I really kind of broke it down. And I talked about how for Nigerians, it is afrobeat, right? Afrobeat is that catalyst, that single event or phenomenon that is going to spawn a lot of confidence, ideology, a lot of pride, a new work ethics, a new perception for Nigerians as well as Africans also. So I talked about how Afrobeat is that. And now we're seeing more and more people identify with it. People want to be us, people want to align themselves with us. And that's a great thing to see, right? That's a great thing to see. And I have something I want to show you all that will even reaffirm this, right? That will really reaffirm. And this is more for my Nigerian brothers and sisters out there, right? The many of you out there who have allowed yourself to be misled by some of the perceptions out there, right? Because understand that the movers and shakers of our societies don't go and listen to internet banters. They don't. They look at fact and real data, and a lot of movers and shakers and people that really make things happen have been dealing with Nigeria, and they've looked at data, right? They've looked at data that have suggested that Nigerians are in Nigeria, as far as our market in Nigeria, and also Nigerians in terms of the demographic, are an unavoidable demographic, and a demographic that is worth doing business with and a good investment. And I'm going to show you something. I want to show you something from the United States International Trade Administration, and I want you guys to see what they put together. And for those of you that may or may not know what the U.S. International Trade Administration is, it is a government agency here in the United States that really compiles data. And they compile data and put together information for for U.S. use and U.S. For U.S. For them to really kind of work with. And the type of information they put together are things that have to do with countries beyond the borders of the United States. So they look at emerging markets. They look at developing countries that are coming up. They look at resources from these countries. They look at sectors, industrial sectors from these countries to determine how they are improving. And they gather this information. They do extensive research on this. And this is for the U.S. to decide, or to at least have options on who to trade with if they decide to trade with any country. It is also for private equity firms to decide if they want to invest in any country or any resources beyond the borders of the United States. So it is an official agency. And I'll take you through their website, the United States International Trade Administration, so you can see what they put together about Nigeria. And I want you guys to look at this. So let's take a look at this real quickly. Okay, so here is the website for you can see right here, the official website of the International Trade Administration, right here on the top left-hand corner. So here's what they said about Nigeria's media and entertainment industry. So I'm going to read a few of this. I'm not going to read all of it. It says right here that Nigerian media and entertainment industry. It says right here. So according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, I'm going to start right here. So according to PricewaterhouseCoopers Global Entertainment and Media Outlook for 2020 and 2024, Nigeria's media and entertainment industry is one of the fastest growing creative industries in the world. It has the potential to become the country's greatest export, with projected annual growth rate of 8.6% and a compound annual growth rate of 19.3% from 2018 to 2023. Now, PricewaterhouseCoopers indicates that in 2021, Nigeria's film industry contributed 2.3% and about 239 billion naira, which is equivalent to $660 million, to the GDP, and projects that the industry will increase its export revenue earnings to over $1 billion. The motion picture and music recording industry exceeded 2020's projected $806 million revenue, contributing about 730 billion naira, which is equivalent to $1.8 billion to the country's GDP. Now, it further says right here that the country's television and video market grew by 7.49% to $806 million in 2020, up from $732 million in 2018. The industry is projected to earn about $900 million in 2023. The market is driven by subscription revenue, which accounted for 72.26% of total revenue in 2018. Now, TV ads account for 21.31% of total revenue, while physical home videos account for 5.33%. Now, subscription-based movie streaming also are very popular in Nigeria, attracting players like Netflix, Iroko TV, and StarTime. Although Netflix subscriptions has long been available in Nigeria, they made their official debut in Nigeria in February 2020, joining several major distributors of film content in Nigeria. So basically, that's why Netflix has been covered in Nigeria for a long time. You see, if you know what's been going on with Netflix, Netflix has been losing subscribers fast. Netflix, and I've talked about Netflix before in my past video. For those of you that are in grad school, you may very well have heard the term, if you've taken economics, you've heard the term called monopolistic competition. And I've talked about this. It's a type of competition in which you can belong to depending on your market. A monopolistic competition is essentially where you have short-term gains in terms of profit and long-term loss. And what that is basically, in a nutshell, is if you are the first person to go to market with a particular product idea or invention, and you are the only one in that space, and you can gain a lot of profit within a very short period of time because you were the first player and the only player in the field. And that's what monopolistic competition is. So you gain a lot of profit, right up front in a short period of time. But as the time goes and as new players come into the field because of a proven concept that you've obviously proven, you have more players. It dilutes your market share. And so your profit margin shrinks, right? And that's what we're seeing with Netflix, is that Netflix now is losing a lot of subscribers because there are other players in the whole streaming thing, right? Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, a lot of them that are in this. And so because of that, Netflix has been looking for a new market, a new viable market for years to tap into. And so based on data and based on these types of collection that I've just read for you, Nigerian market was seen as a viable market over any other African country. Okay, because of the sheer population, but not only that, because of the audience and how the audience they're a vibrant audience. They're highly educated. They're highly resourceful. And so that's why Netflix established the whole Africa on Netflix, that whole campaign, and moved into and launched the whole Nigeria initiative back in 2020, right? And so, but they're not the only ones, because everyone now has now jumped in to really kind of covet the Nigerian market. So you have even Amazon Prime. You have Amazon Prime now joining in the likes of Netflix to tap into that whole Nollywood film industry. So you go to Amazon Prime, and there's a category for Nollywood that you can kind of watch Nollywood movies. And you have others now jumping in. As a matter of fact, even WhatsApp, the messaging app and the video conferencing app, WhatsApp, that's owned by Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has now also launched. I think September 21st was they launched. They've launched they're now jumping into the whole streaming thing. Want to be part of that whole video and streaming thing. So they've also now launched their own first, short film. And guess what country they're using to launch that? Nigeria. It's the new short film is called Niger Odyssey. You guys should go check it out on WhatsApp because they see the Nigerian market, as a viable market, above every other African country. And now the interesting thing about WhatsApp is that Nigerians are not even their largest users on the platform. The largest users of WhatsApp are Indians. India, the country, that's where they have their largest user base. But nonetheless, they are tapping into the Nigerian market because they understand that the Nigerian market it's a good investment. And that's what you're seeing. And so people are coveting Nigerians. Right? Nigerians are not the only black people on the planet. But I'm here to tell you that lift your head up. Lift your head up, because Don't listen to the internet, rhetoric that is out there, because the movers and shakers of our time know things that many of these people don't know. They know. You are highly coveted. I'm going to make a statement right now that most of you need to hear. People are going to invest in you, not because you come from Nigeria, but because you are a Nigerian. Let me say that again. People are going to invest. And when I mean people, I'm talking about venture capitalists, angel investors. They're going to invest in you, not because you come from the country Nigeria, but because you are a Nigerian. So understand that this is a great time to be a Nigerian, because just like we're seeing people jumping on the bandwagon, Afrobeat is just one aspect, right? But Afrobeat is a gateway to the type of eyeball that people are now having to everything else that we're doing, right? Afrobeat is a necessary thing that needed to happen for Nigerians, because it now really opens the doorway for people to really look at other things like the movie industry, which we're seeing, the tech industry in Nigeria, and really kind of give a new perception for Nigerians. And that's a great thing. So let's just keep going here. Let me finish up this. So right here, let me go here. Let me finish up. Let me continue right here. So a new study by Research and Markets show that Nigeria will contribute about 10 million pay TV subscription to Africa's 47.2 million pay TV base by 2025. So essentially what you're saying is that Nigeria alone will contribute 10 million subscribers, right? Nigeria alone have 10 million subscribers. Of the 47.2 million subscribers in Africa, Nigeria alone has a market share of 10 million subscribers. And they will have that by 2025. That is huge. That is huge. Now, the report indicates that in 2020, Nigeria overtook South Africa in pay TV subscription, as the country currently has over 6.9 million pay TV households as of 2021. It is projected to grow to upwards of 7.4 million by 2023. So let me skip that part. Let me go right here. Okay, so right here it says the music sector of Nigerian entertainment industry also recorded significant growth over the years. Now, stakeholders include artists, musicians, producers, promoters, managers, distributors, and marketers. In the past 6 years, the growing number of new production studios and artists enabled a more vibrant and self-sustaining industry. The investments have aided productions of world-class quality music. In this environment, Nigerian musicians have also developed a vast spectrum of music genres. The industry has won prestigious awards with artists like Wizkid, Burna Boy, claiming Grammy Awards, hence attracting more and more investment from several sources, such as Spotify. The global leader in music streaming is also moving into the Nigerian market as part of a broader global expansion. So that is amazing, right? That is very, very impressive. And that's the type of thing that most all of these movers and shakers look at when they're considering markets. They look at data. They're not involved in internet rhetoric, things that people seem to really kind of throw out there to demonize Nigerians. They don't look at that. They look at real facts, numbers, that are collected by credible sources, right? And I've often talked about these sources, like here in the United States, there are credible sources that put together numbers that have shown Nigerians to be a strong demographic. I've talked about the Department of Labor, this U.S. Census Bureau. These are like agencies owned by the United States that collect data. And what they've often found and what they've reported on over the years, and when they've looked at demographic groups in the country, and they matched them against each other, Nigerians are the highest in terms of income earners. When you look at black demographic group, and even when they compare Nigerians with others, right? When they compare Nigerians even with whites and Indians and Asians, Nigerians are right up there. And the Nigerians are the most educated in the United States, and that's comparing them with all of these demographics: white, Asian, Hispanic, African Americans, Indians, all of them. And so these types of agencies all over the world that compile data is what most of these investors look at, and that's this is one of them, right? And that's why they're different. That's why a lot of white folks. When they make decisions, they don't make decisions like we do. See, we go off of emotions. That's us. See, they're all about making money. They don't go off of it. They're all about making money, and they'll go and find the credible source and data. See, white folks, they use a process that I've come to learn about them. They use a process called misdirection. I don't know if you guys know the concept of misdirection. It's also a military strategy. So misdirection is basically where you distract someone here. Magicians use this too. You create you create some kind of distraction here, because what normally happens is when you create a distraction, most people, and that's how human beings think, is if I throw something here, most people will go there. And then the real attention needs to be on this side right here. And that's it's the same military strategy that a lot of military people use. It's strategy. So if you're right here hiding from somebody, or you want to draw attention somewhere, you just throw something this way. Right? And that's exactly a lot of strategy that white folks use. So they throw a distraction here. It makes a lot of noise in this area, so most people go over there. Right? And it clears the field on this side right here. It's called misdirection. And that's when they now go over there. So when you see a lot of people gathering in this area, that is the opposite areas where the real action is taking place. And that's what's happening here, is that most people have bought into the whole nonsense with Nigeria, because they use the media, right? They use the media to throw negativity to the country, against the country. So people buy into that. So people are like, I don't want to go there for vacation. Nah, I'm not going to look into that. So he clears the field, right? From competition. He clears the field. It's a smart strategy. Think about it. He clears the field. And so now the people that are really like the movers and shakers now can go into that area and begin to really do business there without much competition. That's how they do this thing. It's called misdirection. Look it up, right? So I'm really excited to see that people are now wanting to be Nigerians. It's a good feeling, right? That people want to be us now, and afrobeat has really opened up the gateway. And so kudos to all Nigerians out there that have pushed it. This is your time. This is your time for you to shine. This is your moment. Let no one take it from you. Now, you're going to keep fighting this, right? Because, to stay on top, you're going to have to fight to stay on top. Because it's work. No one's going to stay on top forever. But how long you stay on top has a lot to do with you. Has a lot to do with, your ability to really kind of promote your own country and promote your brand. Because they're not going to do it for you. Okay, no one's going to promote your country much more than you. So it's up to us to really ensure that we're putting out good vibes about our country, our people, that we are putting this vibe out. It's always sad when I see Nigerians, on even on this platform, YouTube, talk back and talk down about their own country. That's a sad thing. And then they expect people to respect them. No. If you're talking bad about where you're from and your own people, you've just literally given people the opening to speak ill about your country too. So don't expect them to now respect you and then cry wolf, right? It's our responsibility to big it up. We are the ones that are going to change the narrative, like we're doing right now with afrobeats, with Nollywood, with our knowledge and our expertise in tech, with our education, with the prominent positions that Nigerians have held and still hold in different other sectors of society. We're the ones that are going to change the narrative. I've often said it, Nigerians are the ones that are going to change the narrative for black race. Nigerians are the only one right now, in terms of the black group. If you want to show me another black group, that is changing the narrative like Nigerians do, please feel free, show me, because I don't know any other ones. Not to say that other black groups have not in the past, right? We're all one in this. This is not to paint others as less less than. This is not to do that, right? But we're talking about the present moment, and it's important for Nigerians to really enjoy this moment because we've been beat down by a society with a lot of insults and a lot of all of that, and we've had to take it all. So the moment now that it's our time to shine and shine bright, right? Because everybody wants to be us, and it's our responsibility to really champion the success the Nigerians are having, because they're not going to do it for you, and know that people that are not Nigerians are really, really invested in that country, and they don't say it. Interesting enough, real quickly, and I'll close this video. In 2019, I went to visit my father, who has since passed away. God bless his soul. I went to visit him in Nigeria, and my route was Dallas, London, and Nigeria. That was the route. And so when we got to London, and I boarded the plane to Nigeria from London, boy, you won't believe this. The coach that I was in was filled with more white people than I can count. The guy sitting next to me was a white guy who works in Nigeria, and he's always back and forth every month from the United States to Nigeria. He sat right next to me. The lady in front of me was also from the United States. They were not all from the United States, and I think some of them looked like they were from England and a couple of other places. But the plane was filled with white people. I'm telling you this, and many of you that go to Nigeria a lot, you probably will confirm this. And so the lady in front of me, I had a chance to talk to her and said, and she lives in Nigeria. She lives there. She's not just like the other guy who's working there, So you have the ones that work there, and they have companies that are US-based companies that work in Nigeria. So they moved there on a short-term contract. So they're there like 3 years, 4 years. So that's him. So you have those types. And then the lady in front of me, she lives there. She comes to the United States for a little bit and she goes back. And that's what she said. She lives in Nigeria with her family. She's not married to a Nigerian. She's like a whole family. They're all white. They live in Nigeria. And these are the things that most people don't know about, right? And so you have these people that make home in Nigeria, but they're not going to come out publicly and defend Nigeria when everybody else is and putting it down. They're not going to do. It's not their job to do that. It's not their job to do that. It's your job. It's our job. But these people know things about Nigeria that a lot of the rhetoric we're seeing on the internet, they just know that that's not true. They know this. That's why I wanted to do this video for mostly my Nigerian people out there who have denied or, abandoned or jumped off the Nigerian train because, of all the negativity that you think that people are saying about your country. I need you to know that your country, Nigeria and the people you come from are one of the greatest black race in our today modern society. You need to know that. And I will continue to use my platform to really kind of celebrate our people and really kind of show you credible sources. This is not just blowing smoke. These are things that you can go research it yourself. You can go to the United States International Trade Administration and look at that information yourself and see what's put forth. You can go and do these research yourself, right? And you just take my word for it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like the video, share the content, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.
Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig baby. För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger är min tid. Jag vill ha dig. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda dig baby. Och jag kommer aldrig ändra.